What is happening?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Let's see. I can send this big text out just to wrangle in the crew. Here we go. Here comes more people. What's up, Chris?
Good morning, guys. I was just talking to myself right now.
I was just texting Alex. Are you filling in for him today?
Yes.
Very cool. Thanks for joining.
No worries. How you guys doing?
Good, good. Just kind of waiting for others to join us. Rochelle, can you send out, did the text go out this morning?
Last night.
Yeah.
Hello, hello.
What's up, man? How are you? While we kind of wait for others to jump in, Chris, why don't you just kick us off and brief us on what it's looking like in the last couple weeks? Now that rates have ticked up a little bit, has that affected applications? Also, I love to use you guys as a temperature gauge because I know you don't just work with agents within Circle, but all over Southern Cal. Are things loosening it up for you? I know when we last spoke.
Applications are still coming in. Rates are affecting buying power. So even with just in general with agents I'm working with outside of Circle and within Circle, I'm always letting the agents know to go back to their lender to make sure they get requoted so they don't waste their time and make sure that they're buying within their means, the clients. Besides that though, I mean, they are climbing or hoping and seeing that it's gonna trend, that it might get flattened and stay in the mid fours. We're not hoping it's gonna go over 5.
Yeah.
Besides that, I mean, we're just trying to get creative and trying to get these offers accepted. I mean, we're still, dealing with supply and demand, right? So
How are files? How are your acceptance? Any new stuff?
right
on
now
the
we
board?
just had one, but then I had one, it just fell out of escrow. It looks like the seller got cold feet. So unfortunately, but then right now, what's big right now is a bank statement loan. We've been doing that. And then DSR loans as well.
And bank statement, is that like just based on FICO scores?
No, it's actually, it is based on FICO score regarding how much down. So if you have a 640 and above credit score with the bank statement program we're working with, you can go as little as 10% down. But basically what they do is you have to submit 12-month bank statements, and they'll go ahead and any eligible deposits are pretty much going to be considered anything that's going to be revenue towards the business.
Mhm.
And basically we'll use that as an income. And it's actually a really good tool to get them in. So we kind of, I guess you can say we sell it as a Band-Aid loan to get them into the property and set them up within a plan to be in this loan for maybe about 12 months and
Mhm.
refi them out.
Yep. Very cool. Very cool. All right. All right. Well, thanks for that quick update. Got a couple new faces or a new face. Pedro, are you out there? I see you. Oh, wait, I can't hear you. I can barely.
Okay, how about now? Is this better?
Yeah, very cool. Well, before you come on with your question, oh, I got some crazy feedback, but I just want to introduce you to the group. We'll do a formal office meeting intro too, but I just wanted to welcome you joining Circle Real Estate first and foremost, and then joining us on today's Inner Circle. Those that don't know, Pedro and his wife, Noelle, just transitioned over this week from another boutique outfit, was formerly with Keller Williams Long Beach, and couldn't be more excited to watch his growth over the years. And more importantly, his volume in the last 12 months has doubled. Pedro's got a funny personality. Pedro, when you have a chance, I know you're driving, it sounds like, but drop your handle, your Instagram handle in the chat box, because I want others to see what you're doing on Reels, TikToks. I told you I find your content very funny. But Pedro doubled his business from 7 million to 14 million in the last 12 months. Which is a huge jump, and excited to really learn from you as much as hopefully we can pour into you as well. So welcome to the Circle team.
Welcome.
Yeah. So sorry, I don't know. I think you might have been starting off with a question, perhaps. Okay. Well, we'll see. He might be having technical difficulties. He is driving, it sounds like. So anyhow, okay, it's a quiet room right now. We only have a handful of us. So again, the level of engagement is really dependent on the participation and those that show up. So, let's just figure out what we could do. Well, you know what? Let's go into production wise. I know a couple of you on this call already I'm looking at have had pretty good success in the last 7 days since we last met. A couple new openings. Dennis. Okay, no worries, Pedro. Gotcha. Dennis, maybe you could just share a little bit about your new escrow, where they come from, where'd you find them, and what did you have to do to win the deal?
So these particular buyers are from out of state. They were looking for like a second home, vacation home, and they were open as long as it was walking distance to the water. So the range was Orange County all the way. No, I think it was like Seal Beach all the way to LA. But as we know, being professionals, that if you want to be close to the water, under $1 million, probably it puts you in San Pedro or Long Beach. But they wanted to walk to the beach, so really it just left us to Long Beach. But also not a lot of options. So it really just came down to one property that they really liked when they were shopping for probably a month and a half. And just by the grace of God or some higher power, that property was available for over 70 days. So while they were putting their ducks in a row, I'm keeping tabs with the agent because, as we know, in this market, you're probably starting to feel the heat if the property hasn't sold in over 30 days. So I'm just checking in to let him know our client is still interested. We're just working stuff out. So if his client is putting pressure on him, that he can tell him, I have a buyer that's wants to get it, but they're just lining up their finances. So that was my whole mindset and keeping touch. And my wife was also nudging me to let them know we're still in the game. They just need to figure this out, just in case they had heat from their client, their seller.
When did you meet these clients, and how many homes did you have to take them to, or offers did you write?
So since they're out of state, we only met in person one time, and that weekend that they were in town, there was only 3 or 4 that checked the boxes. So one weekend of showing, probably I think it was 3 houses total, and they just decided to focus on this one. So one offer.
Wow, that's great. And then did you have to do anything crazy to get yours accepted, or did the sellers counter you with the typical no appraisal? Was there a rent back or anything else you had to do differently?
Because the property was very particular and for a specific buyer, we were able to come in under ask and no counter. They just signed it off.
Very cool. Very cool. Nice job. That's exciting.
I think they were having issues with the lending side too, and then we kind of stepped in and did a bank statement loan. Creative.
Yes, so that was probably the holdup. They were refinancing their home to pull money out, but since they're out of state, they were referred to a lender. But the lender's communication wasn't satisfactory to her. So at that point, we plugged in Alex and Chris and the team to give them options. And at the end of the day, Alex told her the same thing that the other lender did, but the communication was better. But then he gave her another option, and that option was a bank statement loan since they're self-employed, and that's the option they took. So they told her the same thing in a different way, but then gave her another option instead of saying you have to wait another month or so till you file your taxes and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So that was very helpful too. Thanks, Chris.
Very cool. Very cool. That's cool to know that Chris and Alex were on that file too. Way to tee that up too, Hugo. Did you tee that up? Yep. Nice work.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Great job, everyone. Amy, you out there? I see you. I don't know if you're driving or if you're with clients, but
yes,
Amy,
I'm here.
hey, Amy, congrats on your opening for the week too. Maybe you
you.
could just kind of add some color on what that looked like, and what did you have to do to get that acceptance?
Yeah, so my client actually found it and was like, hey, I like this house. Can you submit an offer? Or I want to submit an offer. So I did. I contacted the agent and kind of was like, hey, what do we need? What does my client need to come in at? And by the grace of escrow, she was like, here, this is what it looks like. Gave it to me on a silver platter. I wrote it up exactly how she wanted it, and they accepted it.
And was that property on the market for a while as well? Like, or
No, it had just hit the market when he so when he sent it to me, he actually went to a broker's open. He didn't even tell me that he wanted to see it. So the first open house was a broker's open, and he liked it. And then they were going to host the first open house that weekend, and we opened escrow that Tuesday.
So they did go through with the open house.
They did, yes.
Got it. And were you up against anyone?
She says 2 other offers.
Yeah.
However, she gave me what exactly to write. We didn't even get a counter or a multiple.
And then did you have to go over, and did you have to remove your appraisal also, or any other contingencies?
No, we didn't have to remove any contingencies. We did go over around 20,000.
Yep. And they allowed you to keep the appraisal in place, huh?
Yes, it was
Very
a 10-day.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
That's unusual in this market.
That is so unusual. Yeah, I'm like, she actually gave me everything I needed to write it up to her. I'm like, oh, okay, this is easy.
Very cool. Great job. Well, well, Stacy, I know you were out there too. I don't know if you're available, but I know Stacy inked a new one. We talked about that one the other day. Stace, if you're there, would you mind sharing your new?
I am actually at the inspection right now.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, so for this one, basically, we beat out 3 other offers. I just shortened all the contingencies to like, I think the inspection was 7 days and everything else was 10 days. So the loan contingency was 10 days. And we came in at list price, but my clients had 30% down. So I think they just like to shorten contingencies and just how solid the buyers were. And it's sometimes hard to know, if there really are 3 other offers or not. He told me offers were due on Wednesday. So I kept checking in, but I don't think there were that many offers. He said 3, but.
Right. So he didn't, so you didn't get counted on price then. They ran with your list price, your list offer.
No, I kind of thought we would. And that kind of is what made me wonder if they really did have other offers or not. But yeah, the agent was really nice and moved forward. I was prepared to remove contingencies, but he didn't really seem like it was necessary. So I left them in there. But what we did do is I had Luz put their loan into underwriting. So they're already fully approved. So we could have removed the loan contingency, but if we didn't have to, I didn't feel like we needed to.
Got it.
But I think that's really smart because, going forward, if we weren't getting our offer accepted, we could have removed the loan contingency. So going forward, I'll definitely do that with clients.
Awesome. And how many homes or how many offers did you write for these clients before you got them in escrow?
I think we wrote like 3 offers. And remember, the other one got accepted as well, but we ended up canceling it because they went at night and they just weren't really excited about the area and it looked different at night. So we canceled. But yeah, it's one of the offers we went like 60,000 above list price and we didn't get it, and removed inspection and appraisal contingency and didn't get it. So they kind of opened their search before. They were more like North Hollywood, Sherman Oaks, and this is in kind of borderline Van Nuys. So.
Got it. And then how long from when you got introduced to them did it take to get them in escrow?
Kind of a while, because I was introduced to them through a past client and they were living in Northern California and they weren't in a huge rush. So maybe sometime before Christmas, we kind of started talking. And then once they got more serious and they got pre-approved, and then, they started flying down. So I knew like, okay, they're ready. And before I would do video tours. So I would either FaceTime them or take really good videos, because I didn't want them to fly down unless it was a property they really want. Like, okay, this is great. We're going to come down. So they ended up taking 2 different trips down here to look at properties.
Wow. And then are they planning to move down here, or is this an investment for them?
They're moving down here. So what we had to do with this one is I did a video tour with them, but they hadn't even seen the property. So our offer got accepted and they hadn't even seen the property yet. So then they flew down the weekend after to actually see it. So I was really nervous that we were going to have to cancel again, but they loved the property. So I got lucky.
Interesting. So crazy. So Dennis's client out of state, Stacy's client in the same state, but out of area. And oddly, I just put somebody in escrow that's from the East Coast, and I did a FaceTime exactly like you, although they did have their daughter who lives in Los Altos. So after I previewed it, the daughter came and looked at it and FaceTime her parents, and they bought it sight unseen, but obviously they had the daughters.
Yeah, and things are moving. So it's not like they could like a property and plan a trip. Like things are moving in a couple days. So that's the only way to do it. The other thing is I didn't tell, like I wasn't with the listing agent, like, oh, they haven't seen the property yet. No one asked me, but when I had my last listing in Long Beach, I had 2 people doing, FaceTime showings that wrote offers. And I told them they had to come, if they wanted to move forward, they would have to come see the property. Because I, as a listing agent, wasn't going to sell it sight unseen.
Yeah. Interesting though. Yeah. Out of state, out of area. Dennis, did you have something?
I know I can always get your answer, but just since it's an open forum, I have 2 identical situations where we wrote a strong offer, but didn't remove the appraisal, just put a cap, 25,000. It happens to be for both clients. So the counteroffer is telling us to remove appraisal. So just want to pick somebody else's brain to see what their conversation is like when they're with their client, because it's hard to tell them to remove it. It's not our money. So just wanted to see how that conversation is like when you guys are presenting the counteroffer to your client, explaining that the sellers are requesting that we remove the appraisal.
Anyone want to take a stab at that on how you handle that with your clients?
So for me personally, it all depends on my client. Depending on their situation, if they do have the funds to be able to do it, then I just explain to them in the event, as far as if the appraisal comes in, whatnot, right? So I'm just very honest and transparent with them. Now, if they are, let's just say a FHA buyer or VA buyer, where they do have that protection by the FHA mandatory clause, I could also say this is another loophole of where we could be able to get out of this if the property does not appraise, but we definitely could be able to do that. But now, when I do have my clients and they do have, let's just say they're willing to pay 25,000 or 17,000, whatever it is, over the appraised value, I just respond back with the cap, because honestly, and just be very transparent with the listing agent. Just say, hey, you know what, this is as much as my clients have as far as cash on hand. They don't have anything else, why not? But it's always going to be based on what your clients have and what your clients feel comfortable with. And that's pretty much the way I lead when I do talk to my clients about what they want to be able to do. Because in the end, we're just facilitators, right? They want something, and we're trying to make it happen for them. So in the end, just talk to your clients, figure out where they're coming from and how much they're willing to be able to actually pay over appraised value if they are. So
Yeah, good stuff. Anyone else? What would I say, Dennis?
Basically, in this particular market, you're obviously it's case by case. The client has to have the money, but I know you would explain that you're buying ahead. You're either gonna pay now and eventually gain the equity back, or we're going to be paying forward. So I feel like you're always just going to try to explain that you're either going to do it now, or you're going to do it later, but it's going to cost you more money.
Yeah, let me elaborate. Yes. And I don't tell them to do anything. Like Pedro said, it's their decision. All I'm going to do is paint two scenarios. If you don't, here's what would probably happen. If you do, here's what will probably happen. Again, remember, everything we do, there's never a guarantee. It's all about percentages. So of course, when you do what the seller's requesting, your percentages increase of a probability. But Pedro, like he said, though, you know, if they can only afford $25,000 shortfall, they can only afford 25,000, meaning if obviously, right, anything north of 25,000, you're kind of screwed. So I will also I want to do what Stacy says, and I tell the listing agents what they want to hear. So I always will say, Stacy, look, I've looked at the comparable properties. I believe that it's going to come in, if anything, around 15 to 20,000. I'm not worried about the value. I believe the value is there. Am I missing anything? And then I kind of throw the ball back to them, and they'll usually agree with me and say, I totally agree. I don't think the appraisal is an issue. So I'm trying to debunk the whole appraisal removal and just basically supporting my client's $25,000 is more than enough, in my opinion. And then hopefully I've got Chris in my back pocket, who is my preferred lender, who obviously, if it's a Long Beach property, they were able to select the 6 appraisers in queue. So hopefully one of those 6 are going out, or they will be going out. And so I have no influence on that, but you know, it's not a river or 1-800 quick loans with an appraiser coming from Riverside County, right? So when I just keep talking and more and kind of pleading my case to the listing agents, they start to get comfortable that I know what I'm doing and that I've got it kind of surrounded as best as I can with the appraiser, with my lender, with my clients, which I believe the appraisal is at value too. When you kind of come in and you can't explain that, the listing agent's first indication, they kind of go, man, they're just going to beat me up on the price and they're going to try to negotiate that afterwards. I'm not saying that. I'm telling them the value is there, in my opinion, unless I'm missing something. What do you think? And then I bounce it back to the listing agent, and they'll usually agree with you. So
I think what you said about the CMA part, I think it's really important to do a good CMA and know, because you really know what it's going to come in at once you do that. And then also talking to the lender, because they're going to tell you everything's appraising right now. Don't worry about it. It's fine. They're putting this much down. Maybe they don't even have to do an appraisal. So I think talking to the lender and the CMA is definitely a key part of it.
To piggyback off of that, what I've been doing with other agents, we'll remove appraisal contingency, but obviously we'll be on the same page regarding the value, right? You guys will do your due diligence regarding the value. If we know the liquidity is there for the client, we'll remove the appraisal contingency and quote unquote hide behind the loan. Worst case scenario, we can kind of back out. They have 2 other contingencies where we can back them out and help them out regarding the EMD and getting their money back. But I think those are really great strategies.
well, you know, Stacy mentioned something too, that Luz was in position, if needed, that they could have removed the loan contingency. Chris, can you add color on that? Because I know that sometimes you guys have said to us, you know what, we already did a desktop appraisal. You're good. You can remove the appraisal. Or you've said, you know, we've already got UD approval. So go ahead and remove that too. What scenarios would that come into play? And why can't all loans be like that?
So basically, if it's a straight W-2 employee, they've been there, work history is there, liquidity is there. And basically with me and Alex and our team, what we do is kind of send it over to Tony, which is head of underwriter. And he takes a second look at it real fast. And if we feel that comfortable and we want to be aggressive when we're putting in offers, we'll go ahead and do the no loan contingency. It will feel comfortable with that.
So basically, if it's like A+ paper.
Correct. Not necessarily. I mean, basically to the point where we've covered our crossed our T's, dot our I's, and we feel comfortable that the file is going to move forward. And we had a second look at our main underwriter looks at it. We feel comfortable enough to move forward. Now, let's just say it's a self-employed borrower. We're doing a bank statement. There's a lot of variables we don't have control of, and we don't want to get caught with our pants down. So we would probably strategize another way, maybe remove the appraisal contingency to try to get aggressive, or kind of say we're going to go at $10,000 above appraisal, or get creative somehow.
Got it. Yep. Okay. Pedro, how was your week? Did you get any new escrows or any new listings?
So
you want to share?
my first week of joining a circle, I already picked up an escrow, which is nice. It's actually a down payment assistance client. So yeah, I know. Talk about mythical things in this market, right? So my clients, we only looked at 7 properties total. Yes, 7. I'm not stuttering. So I actually met these clients through online, through Facebook, through social media. So I do a lot of social media promoting and whatnot. And in the end, these clients reached out to me and said, hey, we're looking to be able to purchase property. We're lenders. We've been in business, but we definitely want to be able to use a preferred lender that you could be able to recommend. And we want to be able to take advantage of the down payment assistance program. So we paired them up with that. We ended up looking at a few houses, submitted a few offers, but then in the end on this one, we submitted the offer. We did not waive appraisal contingency. We didn't waive loan contingency. We didn't waive anything. We did shorten it down from a 10-day inspection, 14-day appraisal, and then 14-day loan contingency. So in this situation, it was nice because the sellers previously purchased that property using down payment assistance program. So they knew the struggles that my clients were going through. And when I went to the property to go show my clients, it was actually a video chat showing as well.
Wow.
So there's a lot of video chat showings going on. So I went, talked to the sellers, and then we were just bouncing off ideas. I told them a little bit more about my buyers, newly fiancéed. And then they were fiancéed as well. So they started connecting. And I was like, oh, yeah, my clients are buying it down payment assistance. And I told them, I was like, look, I'll be explaining everything to your listing agent. I just wanted to be upfront with you that we are going to be submitting an offer, but we're not going to be able to waive appraisal or anything because we're down payment assistance. As soon as I said that, it popped. And they were like, oh, okay, Pedro. So they remembered my name. And then they were like, no worries. Long story short, they presented the offers. Our offer was one of the highest ones, but they understood the fact that if it came in below the appraised value, because their agent also explained it to them, they knew for a fact if it came in below, then we would have to readjust. So everyone's on the same page, and then they ended up accepting our offer, and we have a home inspection on Friday. Clients are more than happy to buy the house as is, so that's a big win. My other escrow was, I have another escrow currently as well. We're about to close in a week. And that escrow, I only showed the clients 4 properties total. So my showing to getting your offers accepted rate is pretty high right now. And I want to keep that up. And those clients, it was a coming soon property. We jumped on it. I reached out to the agent. Agent said she was already going to accept something before he went active. So I had asked her, hey, is it higher than these terms? So I threw out my clients max, what they felt comfortable with. And in the end, they were like, no, it's not stronger than that offer. I said, okay, well, if you guys do decide on, backing out or don't move forward with the offers that you're going to accept, feel free to reach out. She said, we have not accepted an offer, so you go show the property and write me up the offer. And that's how we were able to win that one. So just negotiating ahead of time, doing everything, asking for certain terms, asking title, escrow, just pretty much everything that they want, and just putting it on paper.
Yeah, very cool. And then on your first deal, on the buyer's assistance, how many offers were you up against?
That one was multiple. The agent did not disclose on how many, but we did receive a multiple counter offer. And then, it was a very hot property. So
Cool. Congrats. Well done. Anyone else have any wins out there?
it's circle.
Oh, what's up,
I
Noel?
have a closing today or tomorrow, Thursday. Sorry.
Yep.
That'd be a win.
Yep.
I don't think Lucy's here, but it sounds like she just opened an escrow as well.
Yeah, she did. That's right. I think it might be one of her own investments, she said. So I know Tita, I see Tita's on the call. I know she was active this weekend. She has like 6, 7 hot buyers that she's working with. Off-market opportunity. Well, hold on, Noel. Glad you could jump in on us. I just wanted to introduce you. We'll probably do it on the office meeting, but everyone, there's Noel, Pedro's better half. As you get to know her, she's a beast. Couldn't be more excited to be on the same team. Just as much as they're looking to learn from all of you, I could selfishly say I'm looking to learn a lot from them as well. So welcome, Noel. Glad to have you. Thanks for joining on the circle, and we'll reintroduce you to the whole, on our office meeting on Tuesday as well. So
super excited to say hi to everybody. Just wanted to jump in.
Yeah, and just like a little bit of background about Noel, and I'll save some of it for Tuesday. She currently works for Side Real Estate, which is a boutique brokerage that's quickly taking over in the real estate industry. I was highly looking at their model and was considering joining their platform, but I obviously opted not to at this point. But Noel coaches 50 mega teams, the team leaders, and just to put it in perspective, everyone on Side sells, at least per their marketing, is a minimum of $30 million in revenue in a year. So we're talking some big players out there, and Noel gets to coach them all. These 50 are in her account. Are you on a weekly basis with them?
We were doing weekly and I'm now switching to monthly, just,
Monthly.
with a lot of check-ins in between. So, but even before that, I worked with Scott. I was his ISA for a year before I met Pedro. So that's where the
Yeah.
real goal is.
Yeah, I did leave that out. But so yeah. So anyhow, we're gonna learn a lot from them, definitely. And she's into the whole tech stack. So I think they'll be implementing a lot of what's available for all of us, and hopefully they'll be sharing that with us as you guys break some stuff and implement some new tech into your world, and then vice versa. Looking forward to you guys sharing that as well. So welcome, Noel. Okay, any other wins out there for the week? All right, well, look, I will say, I mean, it seems like the last 7 days since we've been together, it has loosened up a smidge, oddly, even though the rates went up. I will say our lead flow seems to have improved a little bit over the last 7 days, which I think it's probably more buyers who were on the sidelines, and now that the hikes are occurring, they're still coming, wanting to get into the game. So lead flow seems to be pretty good. It seems like showings are happening. Again, I don't know if anyone else is feeling that, if there's more inventory or inventory that's still available. Remember last week when we spoke, Keller Williams International said across the board, 25% of escrows were falling out. So I know a couple of us on this call have had a couple fallouts also. So, remember, if your clients are making offers and you didn't get it the first time, keep tabs on those for backup purposes, because 25% of escrows are falling out. So buyer's remorse, overpaying, freaking out. I'll share one story. One of my clients that I just wrote on last night in Belmont Heights, it's listed at 1,695,000. Let's just say 1.7. And if you remember, I shared this story a month ago. They are the ones that wrote on a $2 million listing. We came in at $2,170,000. We got a multiple counter. There were 9 people who made an offer. All 9 of us got counters. They came back at $2,325,000. I thought, we got to get this. We're $325,000 over list. And we didn't. And when I asked because it was the Anderson group, so I asked them, I said, damn, can you at least help me with my clients? And because I thought we put a great offer, and they're going to ask, what did the winning bidder get? And they told me 2.4 million, $400,000 over list price. So now that you have the backstory, a new listing came up down the street, 1.7. We wrote last night at $1,925,000. And the sellers want to remain in possession until July 15th. So we gave them a 3.5-4 month rent back free of charge. They're putting down $1 million. They're mortgaging about $900,000. Their monthly payment will probably be around $7 to $8 grand a month. Times 4, that's another $30,000. So technically they're coming in $225,000 plus $255,000 over list price. That's taking it almost over $1,000 a square foot, which is insane for that area. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I just, again, though, we're always wondering, well, what the hell should we tell our clients? They're asking us what to write, and everyone knows, we've been using Danny's line again, which is whatever you're comfortable losing this house at is what you want to write at. So, my initial thought, as I knew Michelle was going to ask me, what should we make our offer at? And at first I was thinking, well, let's just go in at 1.850, 150,000. But then I was thinking, well, shit, that to me doesn't sound crazy enough. And I'm afraid that they might just get a crazy offer and run with it. And I may not get that counter. I know my clients will go up to 198. So I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to bump that up another $75,000 because I feel like that is a ridiculous offer price. But that ridiculousness is what is getting the deals accepted. And I'm still not even probably going to get an acceptance. They're probably going to still counter me back and squeeze me for more, which is insane. So anyhow, that's it's not a win, but kind of just what we're riding at. Edgar, what's happening? Nice to have you join us. See Pedro and Noel.
What's up, fam?
Look at you, Edgar.
What's up, bro?
What's up?
We were just kind of going over wins. You got anything that you want to share over the last 7 days?
Yesterday, I got told, well, I didn't get told, but we set up a plan to door knock my listing, just give all the neighbors the good news. And, me personally, I was in my car for like 30 minutes, like, man, I don't want to fucking do this. It's fucking hot. I'm still trying to recover from fucking Vegas, making up all these excuses, right? Drawing some affirmations on YouTube, 5 minutes, got out the car, hit 100 doors, had 16 conversations, 3 seller leads. 1 wants to sell within 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was good.
That's it.
Yeah, man,
That's
I was
it.
gonna call you last night after I saw you did that just to get feedback and I guess motivation because I want to
Yeah.
door knock my neighborhood too.
It makes it a lot easier so there was a couple times there was a funny one. There was one of them, I knocked on the door. It's an older man. He's walking towards the door. So the door's open, but the screen door's right. Like you could see through, right? So he's walking towards me. He's like, how can I help you? Oh, hey, my name's Edgar Rangel with Circle Real Estate. Just wanted to give you, and then as soon as he heard real estate, he busted a U-turn, man. He's like, oh, fuck this. He started walking back towards his living room. And I was like, hey, I just wanted to give you the good news. We actually sold your neighbor's house within 6 days, had 53 offers, and ended up selling 110 over asking. Boom, he turned right back around, went to the door and started talking. We had like a 10-minute conversation. So it's like, it was a lot of cool
What was the
feedback
delivery?
too. When you introduce yourself as a neighbor too, not just the real estate agent, but also a neighbor, it was a little less intrusive. So that was good too.
And you know what? You've got value. That's valuable information. If I'm considering selling and you said you had 53 offers, that tells me that, damn, everyone wants to move to my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And if I was just kicking the thought around of potentially selling in the next 12 months, that would get me to go, tell me more. 53 offers. That means 52 people did not win. That means there's 52 people looking for my house.
Yeah.
What could you get for my house?
Yeah.
Damn.
No wonder you walked in with a pep in your step, Edgar.
Wow.
Three listing
so-
up warm leads then, huh?
One I would say is hot. The other two are a little more on the nurture side, but there was conversation and so yeah, it's good stuff.
Awesome. What's the game plan for your lead follow-up?
So I got them all written down. Actually, right now, that's what I came in for. I'm gonna put them all in follow-up, boss. I'm just setting up the farm, right? So it's gonna have its own little folder and just start putting things into action. I offered to put all 3 of them into HomeBot. There's one that, like I said, that's interested in listing in about 2 months. So definitely going to keep tabs on her, make sure that one doesn't get away.
Yep.
But yeah, just putting them all up in follow-up, boss. And yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
And just a FYI, you could put a separate phone number
too.
You could put a separate phone number for those clients too, so you know where they're calling from. Like for the postcard or for your mailers, you could have a separate phone number calling that one, and then it'll go into a folder on follow-up boss, so you know that they called from that source.
Oh. Okay. I'm gonna have to pick your brain on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see.
So instead of my follow-up boss number, there's a separate number that I could create?
Yeah, it'll still ring to your phone, but it'll have a specific phone number. So you know when you get a missed call, I'll go into a specific folder. Like mine says Wrigley Farm. So I know that they called
Ah.
from my mailer.
Okay, that's good. You also, if people scan the QR code on my flyer to sign up for HomeBot, is there a way to get that over to Follow a Boss also? You guys know about that?
I don't know. I use CoreLogic, so it gives me a notification.
Okay.
Hugo, want to elaborate on that? I see you shaking your head. Or are you just saying yes, but not really sure?
Yes, there's a way. There is a way to do it. What exactly are you trying to do step by step, Edgar?
So how are you going to say yes if you don't even know what the question is?
As long as you create a lead registration to your website IDX, it will funnel into Follow Up Boss. So what I mean by that, and Scott will show you, they go into your website, they register, and then they'll funnel in. If you want to do it through HomeBot, of course, when they sign in through HomeBot, that should automatically funnel into your Follow Boss account if you have it integrated.
Yeah. So let me do two things real quick. So what he's talking about, Dennis was talking about, Edgar, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I could see.
So I have a Cotto group, I've got JMJ, I've got mailers, I've got Google LSA, I've got HomeBot, I've got Referral Exchange, Yelp. All of these are different mailboxes with different phone numbers. So this is probably Dennis's Wrigley folder here. So he created a new phone number. So when any leads come in on that phone number from his Wrigley card, it's going to put it in this mailbox. So if I miss the call or anything, it's going to stay in these mailboxes. So I know what my ROI is. I know when my phone rings, I can label my caller ID to Google LSA, to JMJ Finance, again. So I know what the call is going to be, where it came from, and what marketing pieces am I putting out there that generated this call. Okay, so that's the first thing I just wanted to show you. So all of this stays in here. Then the piece about you using your QR code, it depends where he's right. So if your QR code goes to, let me go to my home evaluation here, hypothetically, when this pops up, is it my internet or is it working on your side, Monica?
I think it's your internet.
Or are we having technical difficulties?
I think it might be your internet.
Yeah, because my radio stopped too. My Bluetooth just stopped playing my music. But so Edgar,
The page is working.
It is working. Damn, well, what the heck? Okay. Oops. I just want him to see this. So if I go to home valuation, okay. So this QR code right here, E, is where you're going to direct your QR code to this domain right here. Or your own, if you're on Real Scout, whatever. So when they come here, when they click on the QR code, they put in their address here. And then when they put their address here, this is what they're going to get. Which then goes into your follow-up boss account.
Okay. So I guess I got to get with Michelle too and tie in my HomeBot into to my webpage then, right? Because if they look up my circle website, I'll have to have HomeBot tied into that because I have HomeBot on my own.
Okay,
Not
so
through
then
Circle.
wherever your HomeBot lives, there's got to be a URL for it somewhere, right?
Mhm.
A domain for it. That's your QR code. You are going to copy that domain and paste it on your QR code. So when they zap your QR code, it takes them to your landing page on your HomeBot page.
And then that
that's-
HomeBot account needs to be integrated into my FUB account, right?
In theory, yes. We have not done that though. So we need to figure that out. But yes.
Okay.
For right now, for your HomeBot, it's gonna come in, HomeBot's gonna send you an email. And so your FUB should be pulling the info from that email.
Which then scans it all the way and brings it in. And then the sort code will be HomeBot, just like your Redfin and Zillow leads come in. When the email comes in, that's why it's important, everyone. This is kind of where Stacy's at too. This is what we talked about yesterday. It's just making sure that your HomeBot is linked to your Gmail account. So when your leads come in fact, we just posted this on Slack, then that's when it FUB captures all that information. And then hopefully then the next progressive step is to get your drip campaigns to automatically start dripping on them or sending, hey, Edgar, thanks for registering on my HomeBot home evaluation site. You know, you'll be getting an email from a third party showing the value of your home or blah, 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 blah. And then your drips can go subsequent after that. Yeah. So it's really just keep in mind, everyone's just really getting that setup piece going. But good stuff though, on the going back to your door knocking, that's a huge win. It's funny. It's just, I love the transparency of sitting in your car for 30 minutes and not sure why am I doing this with 100 stacks of nice printed flyers, postcards in the hand. I give you credit, man. I've done that. I've sat in the car and I didn't get out. And I don't, and you know, everyone on this call knows I don't door knock, but because I can't bring myself up to it, but good job. 3 seller leads, man. 3 seller leads. Okay. Any other
100 down, 900 more to go too. So printed 1,000 of those bad boys. So
what did
we'll see
that
what-
take you to get through 100 doors, 16 conversations?
about 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
Yeah. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
It just had been so long. Funny enough, last time I door knocked was with Pedro, maybe like 7-8 years ago.
And we did the exact same thing. We sat in the car and we both had to hype each other up. We ended up boosting each other's
No.
energy. We were like, let's go. Let's do it.
We would door knock and I'll tell you, our dress shoes, we used to dress up, suited and booted in the middle of the summer, drenched.
Aha.
But we had like the
Dripping
cheap
sweat.
dress shoes with the man. We used to be clicking and clacking everywhere, man, because the rubber sole would be gone.
Hey, let's
You
shoot.
know,
That
yeah,
is-
it was the raw specials.
That is awesome.
So yeah, it's it was good to get back out there again though. You know,
Yeah.
everybody, nobody's tripping about the mask. Nobody's it's just again, it's just bringing value.
That's it. You just said the key word. If you're bringing value, then they can't, I mean, some will still slam the door, but if you got value, that's all
Yeah.
that matters. So,
Yeah.
All right. Well, any other topics or any questions? Anything anyone wants to ask? Okay, going once. All right, twice. Okay. Any housekeeping from Rochelle or Nika? Mon? Did you
No,
get anyone on taking you up on office hours on Monday?
Pedro.
Oh, okay, good. Not surprised. All right. Well, we will start tracking and on the sales meetings, I want to get this competitive spirit in all of us out. And one way to do that is to show people's productions of lead gen, door knocking, whatever, working in the business, working on the business, sales volume. We can track testimonials, and I want to share and start putting the leaderboard up and sharing that at our office meetings to get us to get that competitive spirit out and start getting us to compete against one another in a friendly way. So if you haven't already, you can still set up a office hour or Calendly with Monica to get set up on Sisu. At the bare minimum, you don't have to learn it all inside and out. It's just getting you onboarded so we can start tracking your numbers and your activities. Because if you do the actionable items and follow up, boss, it's automatically going to pass over. At least the priority metrics will automatically pass over phone calls, text messages, and emails. And then we could do our own little side games of prospecting, working in the business, conversations, and that's where we can also do additional contests. So, okay, all right. Well, no need to drag it out. Appreciate everyone jumping on. We'll try to make more announcements to get more engagement. Obviously, the level of engagement participation will be a time well spent together. So save those questions or ask them in Slack between now and next Wednesday. Otherwise, see you guys Tuesday, 12 o'clock, right, Mon?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Congrats to all you guys for your wins. Good stuff. Keep us inspired. Stay motivated. Stay hungry.
So productive day. Have a good one, guys.
You guys. Thanks,
Agree
Chris.
with you guys.